There are things money can buy, and then there are things money is designed to make you forget. So let me ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly, not for me, for yourself. If someone handed you the life you've always wanted, the money, the comfort, the kind of freedom that erases fear, but told you there was one question you could never ask, would you take it? My name is Vivienne Ashworth, and 3 years ago, I did, before the money, before the properties, before the key. There was a Tuesday evening in Hackney, a small flat, a quiet dinner, and a woman who wasn't broke, just tired. Not the kind of tired sleep fixes, the kind that builds slowly, over years, working, trying, hoping something changes, and realizing it hasn't. That night, I said something out loud, something I didn't even realize I meant. I just want a way out. 7 days later, the letter arrived. Plain envelope. No return address. My name, written like it mattered. I almost ignored it. But something about it felt intentional. It was from a law office in Mayfair, and it mentioned a name I hadn't thought about in years. Eleanor Ashworth, my aunt. She had died quietly, left no children, no explanations, just me. I went to the meeting, of course I did, because something like that doesn't feel optional. Julian Halcourt was already waiting. He didn't smile, didn't offer comfort, didn't try to convince me. He simply placed it in front of me. 12 properties across the world, fully mine. And then the clause. You may never visit, never question, never attempt to locate the 13th property. That was it. I remember asking, what happens if I do? He looked at me, calm, certain. You won't. Not a warning, not a threat, a conclusion. Before we go any further, if stories like this speak to something deeper in you, the kind of truths people don't always say out loud, take a second to like this video, not for me, but so more people who need to hear this actually find it. And tell me something. Where are you watching from? Drop it in the comments. Now let me ask you something. If you were in my position, right here, would you stop or would you keep going? Be honest. I want to know what you would have done before everything changed. And I should have walked away, but you wouldn't have either. Be honest. You would have signed, so did I. And in that moment, my life didn't change. It disappeared. And for a while, I didn't question it. That's the part and people don't admit. When life finally becomes easy, you stop asking why. I told myself I deserved it. That maybe this was just how things work for some people. That maybe I had been struggling because I was meant to. And now I didn't have to anymore. But even then, something felt off. Not loud, not obvious, just quiet. The kind of quiet that doesn't comfort you. It watches you. Wealth is quiet. That's the first thing they don't tell you. It doesn't feel loud. It feels like relief. No pressure, no fear, no constant calculation. Just silence, and I leaned into it completely. London felt like control. Paris felt like something else. That's where I saw her, my aunt, not in person, in a portrait. I stood there longer than I should have, studying her face, trying to understand what I was seeing, because it wasn't fear the way we usually think of it. It was something else, something heavier, like she had accepted something and regretted it too late. And for a moment, I felt it, that same quiet realization that something wasn't right. But I pushed it down, because comfort is powerful, and once you get used to it, you protect it, even from the truth. Until Aspen. I found the note. The sound never stops. I read it again and again. I didn't sleep that night. Every silence felt intentional. What kind of thing follows you, even when you leave it behind? That was the moment I knew. This wasn't inheritance. This was control. Every time I got close, something arrived, a gift, a distraction, and I accepted it. Every time. So let me ask you, what is your price? Because I found mine. And it was lower than I expected. I drove. No phone, no permission, just the key. The forest felt wrong. Us not dangerous, intentional. And then I saw it. The 13th property, stone, windowless, waiting. She who holds the truth holds everything. And for the first time, I hesitated because I understood something. The danger wasn't inside. It was who I would become after opening it. I almost turned back. I really did. Because if I walked away, I could keep everything. But if I opened that door, I would lose something I couldn't replace. And still, I turned the key. It wasn't horror. It was worse. It was order. Boxes, hundreds of them, lives, documented. And one story that stayed with me. Her name was Anna. A house, a child, a life she built. And then a contract. It looked fair. That's what made it dangerous. Because she didn't understand it. And when she did, it was too late. There was another photo. She wasn't smiling anymore. But the child was gone. And something had already been taken before the agreement was even signed. That's when I understood it doesn't happen all at once. It happens slowly until there's nothing left to protect. I left, but I didn't forget. Because once you see something like that, you carry it. I gave everything back, every property, every privilege, and it cost me more than I expected. But 3 weeks later, I went back. I opened the ledger, and the lot was no longer blank. There was a name, not mine, and I still don't know who wrote it. So now I ask you, if you were given everything, would you ask the question? Or would you become part of the silence before you even realize it? This isn't just a story, it's a warning. Welcome to the unspoken chapter where silence isn't empty, it's maintained. If this story stayed with you, if it made you think or question something you have been ignoring, then this is your kind of space. Subscribe to the Unspoken chapter, where silence is broken and truth finally finds a voice. And if this story resonated with you, take a moment to like and share it so others who need to hear it can find it too.